Welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is Robert. Joining me today is my friend George. George, how are you?
How are you? Thanks for your time and all your viewers. It's an honor to meet you.
George, now you contacted me via LinkedIn. You saw some of the work I was doing with Parkinson's. You have a connection to Parkinson's too. Give us a brief why you're connected to Parkinson's the way you are.
The name of your podcast really captured my attention. Unfortunately, my mother was a Parkinson's patient and had taken the same medicine, the dopamine. It didn't help her. But to make a little bit about me, my name's George Ackerman. I'm really just one person out there trying to make a little difference, but let other individuals in the world, either the caretakers or someone that's a Parkinson's patient, I want them to know that there are people out there like me who do care about them, even if they might some days think they're alone. When I was going through, my mother had Parkinson's for 15 years, but she really was able to live a nice life. She was independent, lived alone, drove a car, normal, nothing so shocking. But the last year of her life, unfortunately, it just deteriorated, and that's when I stepped in and really took over for everything from banking to shopping. And it was really hard to see. She was not just a loved one, but she was like my best friend. I always tell people I had a little too. I'm the nice mama's boy, and I would speak to her, 10 times a day.
So George, several things you said. First of all, thank you for what I commonly ask for is visibility and vulnerability. I do find that to be courageous when people offer their story the way they do. That you're leading with your heart is absolutely gorgeous. That you're unafraid to express the love for your mom the way you do. All of those things are great. You mentioned about isolation. And to me, that's one of the worst problems in Parkinson's. Did your mom feel isolated anywhere, and how did you respond?
I think she felt isolated, and also I did as a caretaker. So a lot of times we really focus on the patient, of course, because they're the main priority, but we also have the caretaker. And I felt alone because I was there. It felt like every day I tried something. I mean, we literally tried everything from therapy to this to that. We hired full nurse staff, which was very costly, but we wanted to keep her at home. I always swore I wouldn't put her in a home. A lot of the nurses used to say they were shocked to see how much I helped, which was sad. They said a lot of, unfortunately, families just put their loved one in a home and never see them again, which I was like, that's not for me. But she felt isolated. The biggest problem toward the end is, unfortunately, we had to have long-term hospice because, we needed help with it. And one thing I don't agree with them, I'm not a medical doctor, but they stop physical therapy once you sign up. So my mother, most Parkinson patients, what they have and what I fight for is hope, hope for a cure, hope for something, whether it's classes to help strengthen their, motor skills. But second they did that, she lost hope. And that's when, unfortunately, it started. It was very tough after that.
I completely concur with what you're saying, that without that something to live for. I don't know if you're familiar with Viktor Frankl's work, Man's Search for Meaning. A psychiatrist in the 1940s who ended up going to a Nazi war camp and experienced the horrors of that, and seeing the depths of humanity in that situation, said that if we can figure out our why, we can get through anyhow. And so that's it, I think, with Parkinson's or any chronic illness too. You sounds like were able to single-handedly give your mom a lot of that why with your presence. At the same time, you said it was very draining for you as a care partner. What did you learn about resources? What worked for you guys?
There wasn't really much that I could find out there. I called some of the big ones, the Michael J. Fox, Parkinson's Foundation, American Parkinson's Disease Association. I work with a lot of them, but some of them are national and they're much bigger, so they didn't really have much. The American Parkinson's Disease Association did actually show physically to my house, met with my mother, but unfortunately at that point, they just offered a lot of programs, which I think are incredible, but she just was too, getting kind of on a downward spiral. So that's why I decided to start a website called togetherforsharon.com. And it's all free resources. It's really just a lot of things that when I was sitting there wishing I knew if someone was out there, I couldn't find anything like it. Of course, there are a lot of organizations, but there's nothing bringing them all together, at least that I was able to find. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything. Actually, I need your address after we're done, but I send these around the country, and I don't know if you can see it, but they're just a little band. It says Together for Sharon on the inside. It says in memory of Sharon Ackerman. So we send them for free. We donate also from my family every year to the different foundations, but we just do it again to not just remember my mother, but to know there's other people out there that will, when they wear the band, I probably passed out about like 20,000 at this point. And we actually went viral. And a quick, I know this is not, we don't have a long form, but my mother passed. It was so sudden, and we had a funeral, and I wasn't prepared. You know, I spoke and I have a video, but I always like to give everyone who comes something just to remember. Well, my brother-in-law at the time, he was just, you know, dating my sister, but he sent me a picture after, and it was just his hand with the band. So imagine, you know, without his face. And I know people, and I'm in law enforcement, and as a lawyer, they like privacy. There's nothing more sacred than our privacy. So I thought, wow, he has just his hand and a band in the background. And it was a genius idea. He didn't even say anything, but I started just taking pictures of my hand and my family with different, you know, backgrounds, from the snow to Disney World to all different around the country. I went, and people would just went viral. They were sending me their hand, you know, with a band on it. And it was just a way to keep my mother's memory alive. But it even got up to Willie Geist from NBC's wife. She saw it. She put it on. We've had a lot of individuals really, it's just touching. And I kind of stopped it a little because it's getting expensive. But, you know, we like to do it all self-funding. But I do want to send you one and any of your viewers. But, you know, it's just a little thing to keep her memory going.
George, we're running over time right now, but can I keep you around for a second episode so we can continue this?
Of course.
All right, good. We'll be back for another Daily Dose in just a minute.